Good day, everyone. In this video, we would like to present to you our study entitled 21st Century Teachers Under the Lens, an exploratory study on the students' perspectives on the qualities of a good teacher. This study was conducted by yours truly, Esterlita M. Dolatre, Principal 1 of Talon National High School, and a Teacher 2 of the same school, Ruskin John Desingano.
Thank you, Master. So let's go now to the rationale of our study. Churchill 2016 argues that there is no single variable that improves students' achievements more than the introduction of a great teacher. Indeed, various research studies attempt to look for factors in order to define and describe a good and effective teacher. For example, in the Philippines, public school teachers are commonly evaluated based on the targeted or expected teaching competencies set by the department, aiming for teachers' continuous development using the PPSC. However, in this study, we stand in a position that this kind of evaluation tend to focus more on the teaching quality, which according to Riley 2009 refers to the capacity of the teachers to implement curriculum in monitoring and assessing students' learning. On the other hand, teacher quality refers to the identity of the teacher and his or her pedagogical knowledge, in which it is commonly acknowledged but not given ample attention in teachers' training development. So, why is teacher quality or the identity of a teacher important? For instance, Kunter et al. 2013 in their study pointed out or found out that enthusiastic teachers make students perform better. Hence, it is affirmative to conclude that there is a need to identify the qualities of teachers which needed to be developed and improved. In this study, we adopted the qualities of good teacher and the qualities of ineffective teacher as discussed by James Stronge 2011 and 2018. In addition, this study also included the evaluation of working conditions of teachers which affect or may affect their teaching practices, according to Kennedy 2010. He also pointed out that we should not only consider teachers' characteristics or personality traits, but also their working conditions or situations, because these may affect teaching practices, their practices, and later on, students' learning. This study aimed to answer the question. Number one, what qualities or attitudes of teachers positively contribute to their effectiveness as good teachers? Number two, what qualities or attitudes of teachers negatively affect students' achievement? And number three, to respond to Kennedy 2010, what are the common working situations of teachers that greatly affect their personal attitudes, qualities, and teaching practices? Let's go now to scope and limitations. Number one, this study covered the perceptions or perspectives of students. Number two, the attributes included in study were identified and discussed by James Sponge. Number three, the instruments used in describing the teacher's working conditions are purposefully constructed by the researcher. And lastly, we only covered high school students, high school teachers in Amadeo district. Let's go now to the methodology. The participants of this study were consisted of 355 students from the four schools, 111 teachers who were both randomly selected using the stratified random sampling. Researcher made survey or Likert scale and teacher self-assessment tests were validated and utilized. For the data analysis, the Likert scale data from the accomplished test was analyzed by getting its central tendencies. The top positive and negative qualities of teachers were identified by getting the frequency of the respondents of the students. And lastly, content analysis was carried out by the researchers who are both language educators. Let's have the findings. Of the 27 positive teachers' qualities, there were 7 highly rated qualities by students. Number 1, treats students equally and fairly. Number 2, understands the feelings of students. Third, communicates clearly. Fourth, listens attentively to students' questions and comments. Fifth, works actively with students and making students involved in learning. Sixth, maintains confidential trust, respect to students. And lastly, a teacher who enjoys teaching by showing it. On the other hand, the teacher negative qualities are as follows. Number 1, a teacher who does not accept responsibility for what happens in the classroom. Number 2, expresses bias, whether it's positive or negative with regards to students. Number 3, uses inappropriate language. And lastly, a teacher who demeans, mocks, and makes fun of students. In addition, teachers' evaluation of their working conditions. Based on the 16 teachers from the 45% who only responded, the working condition that they can consider negatively affect their qualities and practices is the situation where they needed to accomplish teaching tasks in short duration of time. In addition, 14 teachers rated the item that they often make self-made learning materials. 11 teachers who were assigned to the subjects not under their expertise or some situations that negatively affect them. From these findings, our conclusion is, while educational institutions provide abundant pedagogical knowledge, the identified most rated teacher qualities, whether it's positive or negative, should also be part of teacher seminars and one way to evaluate teachers' performance. Negative working conditions may affect teachers either positively or negatively based on their level of commitment, as what they have shared in their self-assessment tests. As what Vithud and Makati 2007 pointed out that excessive paperwork and burden of such non-teaching demands also add to teachers' feelings of stress, reduce their morale and commitment to the school. We, the 21st century teachers, should always remember that we should build connection and create engagement to ensure learning while developing the qualities of a good teacher. These are the key references for our study. Once again, this is our study entitled 21st Century Teachers Under the Lens, an exploratory study on students' perspectives on the qualities of a good teacher. Thank you and mabuhay!